Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, special guests here in the studio. But first, let's take a look at our weather, brought to us by Drew Pollard's company, Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. We're looking at today's high of 91, a low of 78, and water temperature at the end of the pier is right at 89 degrees. Take a look at our river readings brought to us by Panama City, Coca-Cola, good folks down there. The Apalachicola Bluntstown is reading this morning a 7.2, and it's pretty level for the rest of this week, it looks like. And the big one over here at Choctawhatchee, the big reading there, because it's gotten high recently, but it's dropping out today, is reading right at 7 foot. But it's got a slow drop to it, but this rain coming in and out, it sort of keeps us on our toes as far as it's coming up and going down. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Another good day of tides. High tide this morning right at 6:53 and going out to about 6:30 tonight. Good strong tides today. The rest of the week on into the weekend as we're getting ready for the month of August to be upon us. Wind south-southwest at 5 to 10. That's pretty seasonal. We're going to take our break. Be right back with our guest. Okay, welcome back, folks, and welcome to the show, Mike Edwards. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Nice to be here.
So glad to have Mike. I've been trying for the last couple of years to get him to come on. I've showed his fishing lures that he makes by hand, and he is an avid outdoorsman from day one. So let's tell the folks a little bit about yourself. House builder. You build houses for a living.
Well, build houses for a living. My father started in '47, and I grew up doing that.
It was amazing because he started talking about the old Forest Park area and the new Forest Park area, and that's sort of behind the studio here. And you said State Avenue was a dirt road?
State Avenue was a dirt road, and most all the houses back there on Brandeis, Rutgers, and Malone, and all both sides of the road were houses we built back in the day.
Yeah, and we started calling out names of folks I knew there, and they'd built those houses and all. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homes.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, you were remodeling one, helping on one other day. Found out that your granddad had built it, or what was it?
Well, after the hurricane, I was doing one for my nephew over in Cove on Bunkers Cove Road, and come to find out it was a house that my father had built way back in the day.
And he had the whole family, generation after generation, had a great reputation of building fine houses. So you used to squirrel hunt all back in these woods back there?
Well, it was dirt roads, and it was nothing but woods back in here, and I'd roam around out there with my .22. And
yeah, we're on 23rd Street, so he's pointing north of this area, so you imagine it's full of houses now, but you imagine back then, so you sort of fell in love with the outdoors. Now, did y'all have a place down at Howard Creek? Or
My father and grandfather had a place at Howard's Creek, and we used to go down there all the time, whether us kids wanted to go or not. We loaded up and went. But they were fishing one day in Salt Creek, and I was a little kid with one of those little kids rod and reel. Found a Hawaiian wiggler in my grandfather's tackle box, tied it on, cast it out in the middle of the Salt Creek is where we were, and wound it in and caught a bass. And from then on, I wanted to do a bass fishing. Yeah.
That did it. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you've had so many different experiences hunting and fishing. We have all kind of pictures and all, but we're going to start off with one of these pictures. You sent this to me. This is fascinating right here. Tell us this story.
That's the sturgeon. This time of year, those sturgeon jump over the Choctawhatchee River, and that one, I was riding back to the boat ramp about 2/3 throttle. Looking at the blue skies and the trees, now nice and pretty and peaceful it was, and all of a sudden that big old fish was in the air right in front of me, and then didn't want him to hit me, so I turned the steering wheel to move the back of the boat the opposite way, leaned over, and he hit the bulkhead of the seat right beside me. And my first thought was, how in the world am I going to get that thing out of my boat? Because I knew he was just going to flounce around and break my rods and everything. And then I realized he's dead. He killed himself when he hit the boat. And there he is sitting, right, and that's the bulkhead. You know, the bulkhead's in front of the chair right there. And that day I tried to get my wife Karen to go fishing with me, but she didn't go. And it's a good thing, or that thing might have broke her legs.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And see how long he is with the paddles there. That's a
That's a paddle. That was huge. So fortunately, Karen didn't go with you, but she fishes with you some. And
oh yeah,
she loves
she likes to go fishing too.
And your daughter Mallory was in my outdoor class.
Yep.
And what does she do now?
She's a teacher at Petronas School.
Yeah, third grade at Petronas Elementary. So it's a great family, and I just love having them on. So fishing, you started making these fishing lures. We're gonna get a bunch of them you made, but you also always love to hunt. You like to fish and hunt. A typical Florida Panhandle outdoorsman. So what you're on a lease. I've been up that lease before. Tell the folks where it is.
It's in between 79 and 277 off of Douglas Ferry Road, and I-10's our north boundary. It's about 1,200 acres that we have up there, and we've been in there for, I don't know, 25, 30 years. It's been a long time. We've taken some nice deer. We used to quail hunt in there.
Yeah.
Since then, they've come in there and cut down a lot of our trees now, and so it's so bushy, it's hard to do the quail hunting stuff.
Yeah. Do you think you still have quail in there, or just sort of? I know we quail hunted up there. So.
Well, sometimes you can sit in the stand and watch them crawl and walk by.
Yeah.
You can hear them and see them.
That's cool, and got some good folks on that lease. And
they do some turkey hunting in there. And,
yeah. Nice stuff. You know, getting back to the fishing though, you fished the Apalachicola River system and the Choctawhatchee River system. You fished them both. You know, some people just sort of concentrate on one, but over the years, you've been able to fish both of them extensively. Mm-hmm. So I've always asked people to do that. What's your favorite one to go to?
Well, the Appalachia is easier to get away from people, and I like to get as far away from a bunch of crowded people as I can. The Choctawhatchee, you got to hit it at different times because there's not as many sloughs and creeks to get into to get away from the people, and there's a lot nowadays. It's the jet skiers and everything else running up and down the river over there. It's kind of hard to fish, so you kind of got to go during the week when it's not so crowded. You can forget it on the weekends just about.
That's something. That's a good answer. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Sitting here with a fellow outdoorsman, Mike Edwards, a great fisherman and hunter and makes fishing lures, and he's always been doing outdoor stuff. He was third generation home builder here in this area, so always glad to have him. I said, next time you got to bring Karen and Mallory. We'll do a little family show because I know y'all do outdoor stuff. Okay, let's get in these pictures. We got a bunch of them. We're going to hunt and fish back and forth. So, this one real quick, Mike.
That was a 9-point that I shot. It was we called it Open Creek.
Okay, all right.
And that is him after I got it mounted. And
European mount. That's a big buck.
It was a guy. Yeah, he was a good one.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, Mr. Sneaky Steak.
Long as a shovel.
He is. I left him out in the road one day, and Steve was walking down the road to go to the stand right before dark. He goes, "Whoa!"
That's how you do it with your buddies. Okay.
That was a big old shell cracker I caught. That thing was 14 1/4 inches long. I caught him on 4-pound test line, and it was something. He ran drag off this way and wrapped around a cypress tree, and I had to bring him back. He came back to the boat and then took off back in the other direction, pulling drag, and then came back to the boat and took off back to the back of the boat. I got him back around, and I was fixing to try to lift him up, and I'm fished with a little number 10 gold hook. Because that way, you put him in the cricket, he covers up the whole cricket. Cricket covers him up.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't pick that thing up out of and lift him in the boat because he's going to pull the hook out. So my buddy Jack Ball got the net, scooped him up, and we got him in the boat.
Wow, that is a fine one right there. Now, out of Choctawhatchee? Or?
That's at the Choctawhatchee.
Look on the riverbank, okay.
What? See, that's him sitting in the middle of all the fish we caught that day. You can see how much bigger he is than everything else.
That's something. I know that was a fun trip.
Mm-hmm. That's him before I filleted him.
All right. Okay.
That's another 9-point that I shot.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
And I shot that one at number 2. It's just another picture of him there.
All right.
That is that same deer I shot at number 2, and somehow he had the hide peeled off his back. I couldn't ever figure out
Here it is right here.
Yeah.
I was looking at it last night, and I was thinking about it. He may have gotten in, if it was during the rut, he might have gotten in a fight with another buck or something, or either he got it caught and he just pulled the hide off.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe a coyote jumped up on him and ripped the hide off or something. I don't know.
That's interesting. Okay.
That was a 6-pounder I caught down in Little Brothers, and I took a picture of that one because I caught him on one of the plugs I'd made. And he was just about to get off. You can see how the hook is on the outside of his mouth now.
Uh-huh. Well, listen, you know, it's just a thrill to catch a bass that big, but what an extra thrill to catch one on a plug that you made by
That's what I always wanted to do. Make a plug and be able to catch a fish on it.
Well, that is a dream come true for an outdoorsman. Okay.
That's that big old shell cracker to prove that it was 14 1/4 inches long.
Yeah, you had a picture to prove it. Okay.
That's Steve Davis. He's the guy in our woods, Davis Exterminators. He shot that nice deer up there.
Good deal. You got a turkey hunt up there.
Yeah, that turkey right there, Steve and I both shot that turkey. We were hunting together that morning. And, well, when the turkey, we watched him come in, a coyote started to come in, and then the coyote saw us, and then he slipped off. And then that turkey, he came from a long ways off, working his way in, finally came out there in front of us, and we clicked our safeties off. And when we shot, somehow we shot exactly at the same time. It sounded like one shot, and the turkey rolled over. So,
well, which one claimed it? Y'all
we just let it go.
I know you did. Okay, what about this one here?
That's Philip Behringer. He's a real good guy in our woods, and that was a turkey he shot.
We got a nice group of them up there.
That's Philip right there with I think that was about a 15-pound bass that he caught up in the sandhills, and that video shows him releasing that fish back into the lake.
That's cool. We'll try to get the video, pull it up later. And this final picture here,
that was my old hot rod bass boat back in the day. I love that boat. I'd put that thing in the water just to run it down the river because it'd get up there and float.
Well, you were just about airborne right there.
Yeah, well, my cousin took that picture, and I just pulled off of the throttle a little bit when they took the picture because it was more of it was out of the water when it came by. That old V6 Mercury, I used to like to just pull it out of the driveway and crank it up and listen to it idle because it sounds like a funny car.
Oh, that's funny. Did you do a lot of fishing out of that boat? Or?
Oh, we did so much fishing out of that boat. One day, Karen and I were fishing up in Deer Point Lake, and she likes to tell this story. It was in the wintertime, and I set the boat down, and somehow with a boat like that, you set it down too fast, the water would wash over the back. So I ran up to the front of the boat to stop so it wouldn't wash over and get on her. And the boat stopped real fast, and my last step went right off the bow of the boat and right into the lake I went.
Now that would have been a good video right there.
Oh yeah, she got a big laugh out of that one.
Well, how many boats do you think you've had over your lifetime of fishing? Have you kept one? You keep them a long time?
I've had several. I got a new one now. The pictures you saw are all pictures in my old boat. I've got a new boat that I had the guy Scandy White build for me.
Yeah.
I just got it back this year.
Okay. They make good boats, don't they?
It makes a real good boat. And I had him make this one like the insides of it's like a bass boat like that with rod boxes and things. And
so you got to basically draw the plans out, and customize it, and they build it sort of like
well,
that.
you go talk to him and tell him what you want, and he'll fix it the way you want it.
Yeah, they do a great job with it. And there are a bunch of those boats around, right?
Yeah, Wayne over there, he's the guy you see.
Okay. When you go, do you do much night fishing or everything during the daytime?
Mostly daytime, yeah. My younger days, I would wait till dark. I mean, when I had that boat back in the day, I'd say the magic hour's about to be here, and I'd fish until I just had just enough time to run back to Howard Creek before it got dark so I could see how to get back. Yeah. But nowadays, I always clean my fish before I go home. Clean them, put them in Ziploc bags, so when I get home, they're either ready to go in the freezer or ready to go in the frying pan.
Do y'all eat a lot of fish?
Yes, we do. Matter of fact, my kids at one time, they got tired of eating fish. I used to feed them so much when they were little. They didn't want fish, but nowadays when I tell them I'm fixing to cook fish, they don't want to come over and have some fish. Yeah.
That's funny. What's the biggest bass you've ever caught?
Biggest bass I ever caught was right at 9 pounds, and I caught him on a crankbait and out of Holmes Creek.
Is that right? Holmes Creek.
Yeah, my friend Jackie Howell was with me that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was up in the front of the boat just wearing them out, and I was getting bummed out, and I threw a rebel over there and twitched it down, and something hit it, and I pulled on it real hard, and I go, that's just a mudfish. And I tried snatching it to get it away from them, thinking it's a mudfish. By this time, he jumps, and I go, oh, God, that's a bass. And so we fought him around and got him back to the boat and weighed him on the. There used to be a little grocery store off of 79, it's not there now, that had cheese, and they had this scales in there, and so we carried it in there and got it weighed, and it was just a few ounces shy of 9 pounds.
Wow, that's cool. All right, we're going to take our final break and come back with Mike Edwards. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 8:32 to 10:32 this morning, and 9:01 to 11:01 tonight. We're reaching in here trying to get all these plugs out of here because it's got them in packages. You can see, Mike, what got you into making your own fishing tackle?
Well, I just thought it'd be neat to make my own bait and be able to catch a fish on it. And so I started tinkering around. It took me a long time to get them to where they'd float right, because my first ones I made, they weren't balanced right. They'd lay over on their side, and then they wouldn't swim. And so I had to figure out the grain of the wood, to get it in the right way so it'd float straight up like it's supposed to, and get the weight right, and then get the angle of the lip right so it would swim for me. And once I did that, I just started redoing the same thing so I knew I had something that would work.
Well, I've been to your workshop. We did a little video on you making them and all, and it's just fascinating that you can make them. But I think I've got 2 more pictures to show you. But I want to show you these 2 because you caught this on your own lure, right?
Yeah, I caught that one on the Choctahatchee River. That one weighed right about 8 pounds.
Wow, and you made that lure, and then one more?
And I caught that one over at Little Brothers, and he weighed about 6 pounds.
Okay, and those are some testimonials as to how well they work.
Mm-hmm.
I know you gifted me with some, but they're so pretty, they're too pretty to fish with. But there's so many of them, so let's talk about some of them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the color on it, you can see the color and the lip and all. How do you determine the color scheme?
I just play around with the airbrush. I was trying to make a gold one like the gold topwater baits, the gold convict, what I call him.
Yeah.
This is my favorite color, what I call a gold convict.
Okay.
That's caught a lot of fish. And they have a hollow area right in here on the inside of them with 2 BBs inside, so they rattle. So they're actually, when I start them, it's 1 piece. Then I split it to 2 pieces, and then I have to glue them back together.
So that's 2 pieces there. I mean, wow. Mm-hmm. That's that builder's woodworking, I guess, over the years. You learn how to do that. That is amazing.
And that coating, that coating that's on there is what they clear coat your car with.
It is?
Yeah.
So it's hard.
It's hard. It's glass hard when it dries.
Okay, the lip and all, this one's fascinating because you were one of the first ones to come out and see the little spinner.
Years ago, I made one and the first one I made, I had to make my own lips. I didn't have store-bought lips like I do there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I wanted to put a spinner on the bottom of it, make it look like there was more than one thing, give it some flash.
Yeah, that's a good. You fish much with this one?
Yeah, he's caught fish.
Yeah. Okay, you're talking about your lips and all. How did you develop the lip?
Well, at first I made my own lips out of plexiglass.
Yeah, you're saying that. So then what happened after that?
Well, I learned I could buy them pre-made, and that was a lot better.
That saved a lot of time, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think typically to make one? How long from scratch?
Well, it takes the longest is the drying time for the thing. It doesn't. I can cut out one of these. I can cut out one, split it in half, glue them back together all in one day. I mean, I can do about half a dozen of them in an hour, a couple hours or so.
Yeah.
and then I have to let it dry. And the next day I can come back and start prepping him to paint it. I sand him down some more. After he's glued together, he's still a little rough, and I then sand him on the belt sander and by hand and get him straightened out. Then I dip him to seal it. So he's, and then it's time to put the hardware on him. And one of the first things I do is I put the eyes, epoxy the eyes and the lip inside of him, and then after that's when I put him in some clear.
Wow.
I also sign the bottom before I put him in the clear.
You sign it?
I sign the bottom right here, and I date when I made it, what month and what year. And then I have to let him dry. I put about 2 or 3 coats of clear on him. Then it's time to put the hardware on him, and once I do that, then it's time to take him to the creek or the lake and throw him out there and tune him to make him swim straight.
You test them, field test them.
Right, I field test all of them to make sure they swim straight. Some of them don't swim straight, and like I've had some of these, I think I haven't figured out exactly what the problem was, but the angle of the lip, I think, is just not right, because some of them just go straight down and won't wiggle like I want them to.
That's amazing. I tell you, we're going to run out of time, and we have. But if people want to get a hold of these, and you still trying to sell some, I know you don't make any money the amount of time you put in.
No, I don't make any money. It's like a hobby.
It's a hobby. But if people want to just get them to,
they just give me a call at 850-596-6381. I live over here in Lynn Haven behind poor folks.
Yeah, been there quite a bit. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and this is just fascinating. People sometimes want to start making their own lures, and then they see how much work it is. Their spirits dwindle. But this, I've admired this since you've been doing it, and as a fellow outdoorsman, I appreciate it. So, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You did a very good job, and don't wait a couple of years before you come back on.
Okay.
All right, folks. We appreciate you watching our show. Thanks for the viewership over the years and today. And we ask you to do something good for someone else today. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. And God bless.
God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.